Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the Digimon VB, or as we also have now is the Digivice V. So this device launched a year ago, the 13th of March, literally today last year. It was such a cool device. So much has happened within that time. We had a newer iteration of the device. We had so many like little things added onto it. We've so many DIMMs since then as well. It's insane. So I'm going to talk about all that. So what I want to cover in this video is I want to cover the VB launch. I want to cover the app. I want to cover the DIMM cards, the controversy that we might have seen along the way, how it's affected the Digimon community, how it's affected the VB and the VPet community, what it's done for me personally, and the future of the VB, or at least what I think is going to be in store for it. So starting off with the VB launch, this device was announced. I wasn't that excited about it. I mean, it was announced around the same time as Pen Z 2, so I already had Pen Z the year before that. That was such a cool device. I never had a pendulum before that, so when I seen this, I was like so happy. I was like, okay, this is a really cool device. I can't wait to jump in on Pen Z 2. So then I started looking at the Digimon VB, and I was kind of like, I was getting very excited for that one. It was like, it was just so different. It was like the color sprites, the whole thing with DIMM cards, and there was this whole just new gameplay mechanic. So I was like, okay, I'm interested in this. So I went ahead, I ordered it. So I finally got it. It finally came out. And it was such a cool device, I have to say. I mean, like, it did keep me active at the start. Like, it kept me very active. Like, the VB, it drained your VP so fast. I was just constantly walking or running or just doing something fitness related just to keep my Digimon alive. Because its VP would plummet so quickly. If you just sat down for like 20 minutes or half an hour, it would just drop, and that could really screw up your evolution. Which one thing I really like is just that it did kind of keep me motivated to do more stuff, because like I remember at the time I was like really wanting to get back into exercise and stuff, so it really got me to do that. So then we also had the app. The app came out with the device. The app was more just for storage, just for your Digimon to be stored in. That was basically it. I mean, you could store 2 Digimon on the device, one in your active, one in your backup, and then on the app we could store whatever amount of Digimon we had capsules for. So basically you could raise up some Digimon, and if you got tired of them, or if you raised them far enough, or you just wanted to try something new, you could move them along into the app. That was that. That was kind of nice. I like that. I didn't have to kill my Digimon. For once in a VPet, I didn't have to kill my Digimon, you know, to get a new one. It was just a cool concept. The app then seen a few different like upgrades along the way as well. Like, first off, it was so bare bones. And then after that is like I said, it could just store Digimon. Then we got battles, then we got raids, and battles and raids are so cool at the time. I remember when they came out. When they came out, they were huge. I had a lot of ideas in my head, I remember. And I was like talking about this, is getting hyped up for this. It's like wanting the whole tournaments and stuff. Then there was the whole raid thing. It's like, okay, I'm gonna find a way. I want to raid on stream with so many people. Thankfully, we got to do the raids thing. The tournament thing just never happened though. Now, they are at the moment talking about upgrading the app again and making it that we can do real-time PvP, and if that happens, I will be holding tournaments on Sundays when there is no raid bosses. I will be holding tournaments over here, so that's something I am really looking forward to, and I'm hoping it breathes new life into the VB because of that, because that's such a huge update to get. We hadn't seen any updates since the raids are added. We've seen different types of raids, but not many. Like, we've seen the regular raids where it's just all of us just jump on a boss and just basically who has the most time on their hands is basically what it boils down to. Then we had survival, which is like you had to raid for like 2 days instead of 2 weeks, which personally I think the 2 days is a lot better than 2 weeks, even for a standard raid. 2 weeks gets so monotonous. And then at Digimon Con, and we haven't heard word if this is gonna be the new way to do raids or not, or if they're gonna bring it back. I hope they do. Was we had the team raid where we had Team Diabomon go against Team Apocalypse, and that was a cool concept. It made the raids make sense to me. There was a sense of urgency in the raid. You needed to be on top of your game. You needed to make sure that you were constantly playing. It felt like a game. It felt like a game to me. It felt like a competition. It felt like a tournament. It felt like I had to take part. New raids, I don't feel that. It's like, okay, I've done the boss, but what am I actually competing for? Yes, you're competing to get higher on the leaderboard, but it's kind of like, why? You know, it just didn't feel fun. I mean, especially when you're on your own most of the time. I suppose that was part of the fun of the team raids, was because it was live and it was like an event, and it made everyone feel like, okay, we have to do this. Our team has to win. We need to be quick. But that's been pretty much it for the app. The app is like it's not got a whole lot going for it, unfortunately. I honestly, it's got so much potential. There's lots of ideas that I have that I'd love to see them put in the app, but again, we'll see what the future holds for that. So dim cards next. Dim cards are a really cool part of the device. Dim cards, basically, that is your VPet. It's on that little card. You load it in. You've got that little area that they go through. All their levels, their adventure missions are on there. All their different sprites, like everything, the whole evolution tree is on that. You can switch it out, you can put in a new one and get a completely different device out of it, basically. And that's probably the best thing about the device, it's just the dim cards. You buy the device, but then after that you just basically are microtransactions or dim cards, which is cool because you actually get to keep these. It's not like they're gonna shut down the service and your dim cards are dead. You know, at least that's not something we have to think about now, at least. What's cool about the dim cards is they're very consistent with them, just in how often they bring them out. They bring out dim cards a lot. Like in the first month, as far as I remember, we had Impulse City, we had the Trial Dims, and then we had Ancient Warriors, then we had the EX Dims. That's a lot of dims all in the first month. Like, then not only, like, after that, then we had like the volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. We still don't know what's up with volume 4. Volume 0.5. We had the Metabot Sims, which was a really cool dim. It's just a crossover between two of my favorite, like, animes as a kid. Then we had, like, oh man, there was just so many. The GP dims. There was more dims on the way. Some we just haven't seen yet. Man, there was just so many dims, and they just keep coming as well. My only problem with the dims is that they bring out so many, but they don't bring out the storage. I personally like to collect official products and stuff like that. I haven't gone near Etsy or anything like that for any storage things or anything. It's just, I just haven't been bothered. I figured, fuck it, I'm just using a deck box at the moment. That's what I have for my extras. But I would love to see Bandai do more. Like, we had the binder. The binder was sick. I love the binder. You had, like, the dim card, a slot for it, and then just beside the dim card, you had, like, the chart of what Digimon are on that dim. That was so cool. I'd love to see them do more of that. They had the 2 holsters. Like, we've 1 holster already that came with the Dynasty of Evil dim. Then we've got a new one coming with Primeval Warriors coming this month, I believe. But even with that, we just don't have enough space to store all of our dims. So I'm hoping Bandai do, like, more holsters or more binders. Something to keep us up to date. Like, it'd be better if they just give us a binder at the start of a wave and say, okay, well, this is going to do you for the next 4 months. And then we'll start bringing out more stuff. I don't know, just so that we constantly have something to hold our dims in. As we get them, we can just put them and file them away. I don't know. It's just kind of... It kind of bothers me we've nothing to hold them in. So next we have the GP dims. The GP dims are the gacha dims. So these are based on the Tamers, who was brought out for the Tamers anniversary. We had Guilmon, Renamon, Impmon, and Monodramon. Since then we've seen full versions for Guilmon and Renamon, but we have not seen anything or heard anything about Impmon and Monodramon. Personally, I don't think we're going to. Just because this is where the first controversy kind of came around. This was where, like, there was so much backlash over these dims having repeated Digimon that were going to be on EX2 that actually ended up pushing back EX2. We also got Premium Set, which we'd only heard about once. That has been since pushed back until further notice, so it might actually be even cancelled at this point. They literally haven't said a word about it since. I think they put out like a little news thing just saying, okay, we're reconsidering commercialization on this. But that's been literally it. We've heard nothing else. So that means, like, they might cancel it, they might sell it at some point, but it might be down the line. There's changing the dates. There's so much going on with that. I mean, we were supposed to get that back in January. All this stemmed from people's complaints over similar Digimon being on two dims, which I completely understand, because people went out of their way. Some people paid a lot of money, scalpers, for these GP dims. So when you pay that kind of money to scalpers for GP dims, and you see, okay, well, there's bigger and better versions of these dims that have all those Digimon on them, it's like, what the hell did you do? You know? So thankfully, we did get newer versions. We have the EX2, which EX2 I'm very happy with. I got really into my VB lately because of EX2, and I'm so happy with those dims. Tamers one of my favorite seasons, so EX2 GP dims are definitely some of my favorite dims I've had. So what's the VB done for the Digimon community? It's done an awful lot for the Digimon community, in my opinion. Like, it has done so much. I have noticed people get back into Digimon that haven't touched it for so long. I've noticed people that haven't gone anywhere near Digimon because they decided on the whole like Pokemon slash Digimon kind of thing, like way back in fucking schoolyard bullshit years ago. I've noticed people jump on from that and realize how cool Digimon is because of that. I've noticed some say, okay, I'm gonna try out this Digimon product because I like this. So I've seen people jump into video games, I've seen people jump into the card game, I've seen people jump into like other VPets. It's done so much and I really love that. Personally, I think another thing it's done that's really cool is that it's actually kept the Digimon brand relevant. Like it says, with Dims getting released constantly all the time, like it's just, it keeps the Digimon name out there. I noticed people on Twitter, like I says, that weren't like Digimon fans at all, or people that weren't openly speaking about Digimon. I see them post pictures, they have like their, even streamers, I've seen some streamers like literally stream, they have their VB on, but they don't necessarily fuck with Digimon like publicly, they haven't really spoken about it or just whatever, but I've seen them, they have their VB on, or I've seen people post like pictures of like, okay, this is what I got today, I'm so excited about this. It's just so cool to see so many people talking about Digimon again. Like, Digimon is on a complete resurgence now. I think the VB is a huge part of that. So another thing I'll say about how the Digimon VB has affected the community is it's kind of made a small divide. Now, this isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it's kind of like, it's divided the VPet community into two groups. You've got like the VB community and then the more traditional VPet community, and then you've got people that are kind of in the middle, which isn't bad. Like I says, I mean, it's just people that have different preferences. Like, there's people that are in Digimon, they're literally just in it for the card game or just in it for video games. I've seen this as well. I've seen people that just watch the anime and that's it. So it's not a bad thing. People just have their own preferences. But I've noticed like a lot of people say, okay, well, the VB is just too passive for me, I don't want to deal with it. Because I don't get that interaction that I normally get from a VPet with my VPet, if you get what I'm saying. Then there's like people that say, okay, well, I don't have time for all these calls that my regular VPet would do, so the VB is great because I can just stick it on my arm, walk around all day, and it's like I'll get my Digimon as a go, and that's really cool as well. So like I says, I'm in between the two. I'll run around with my VB on my arm while I also have a VPet in both hands. You know, I'm more than happy to mess around with this stuff. I love it. But yeah, I mean, like I says, people have their own preferences, and that's really cool. I'm just glad to see more people are getting into Digimon and enjoying different things from Digimon. So what's the VB done for me personally? It's done a lot. It's got me more able to kind of like communicate with the Digimon fan base. Being where I'm from, there's not a whole lot of Digimon fans, so there's not many people you can talk to about any of this kind of stuff. So YouTube, yes, was a great way for me to get to do that, but as a small, really tiny channel, I didn't get to do it at all. The VB, I think I got it just on the right wave, where I posted my unboxing around the time where it just popped off, and I think that's what kind of like triggered my channel to go into trajectory or whatever it's going in. But the reason I done the channel was, like I says, I want to interact with the Digimon community. What helped me with the channel as well outside of that was I used to work in radio a long time ago. I was a presenter, writer, editor for my own show that I used to do. Having YouTube really helped me kind of like get back into doing that. It was something I missed doing, but because like what I done was voluntary. It wasn't like I got paid for it shit. It was just something I done just for shits and giggles because I liked it. Having YouTube was basically like having that again, and the VB helped me get back into doing that. Like when I done tutorials and stuff, it was like to help people out, was also to help me get back into doing stuff I like to do, which is writing and editing, and like doing like a show, I suppose you could call, interacting with people like an audience or whatever. It was just something I wanted to do. Like, I've always wanted to work in entertainment, and the fact that I kind of have that now at YouTube as a hobby is like, it's sick. It's kind of cool that I get to do that again. And I do think the VB was an awful help towards that. As for the VB, where I think it's gonna go from now though, it's hard to tell. I mean, like, it's still so relevant because we know there's gonna get more dims. We know they're talking about adding PvP. We know it's in Ghost Game. It's like the main thing. You never know. We might see like an updated version again at some point. Like we got the Digivice V. I didn't really mention it in the video. We got the Digivice V, which like improved a lot of the problems the original VB had. I'm hoping we get something again that improves on that even more, because the VB has a lot of potential. I see a lot of people looking for traditional VPet aspects to it. I see some people say leave that out, but I see a lot of people saying that they want to see that back in it. And I personally am one of them people who like to see it back in it in some degree, whether it's in the app or whether it's in the VB. I don't mind, but just to have it in some degree. So yeah, where does the VB go from here? I think there's a lot they could do with it. We know they want to add PvP. We know they're going to bring out more DIMs. We know it's part of Ghost Game, so they're going to continue to support this for at least as long as that series is going. And Ghost Game just started there not too long ago. I see it's got a lot of longevity. What else they could do with it? Hopefully they'll improve the raids. I think they mentioned it. I'm not too sure. We've seen they done the team raids. That was kind of cool, because it's like it showed they're willing to experiment and try different things with the raids. We've seen they done survivals. They definitely want to kind of rethink the raids. They mentioned at Digimon Con, because people were asking about having it connect to different devices like consoles and stuff, video games and things, and that would be a really cool thing to have. Whether they will or not, I don't know, but they did speak about it and say that it's something that they would consider, not for the VB specifically, but just to have a device that would do that. And I think it'd be really cool. I mean, Pokemon done it with like the Pokewalker, they done it with the Pokeball Plus. Digimon have done it before with the Pocket Station, the Wonder Swan, things like this. They've done stuff like this before. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to see them say, okay, well here, look, we've got the VB, it does NFC, the app has Wi-Fi. Why don't we connect Digimon back and forth from here for different video games? I don't know. It seems like a concept they might like, because they have tried it before at the Pocket Station, like it says. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, what can they possibly add? Do you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, anyone that kind of made it this far, let me know what you would like to see them add to the VB. I'd love to see them personally add some VPet aspect to it, like whether it's in the app or whether it's in the VB, just to some degree, just add some sort of VPet aspect to the game. That's what I want to see. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'll be reading every comment anyways. Really just want to see what the whole community thinks of this. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. See you again. Bye bye.